Hi, and welcome to Semmelweis STEMtalk. Today, I have the enormous pleasure of speaking with Dr. Imola Wilhelm, who is a senior researcher at the Institute of Biophysics at the Biological Research Centre in Szeged. Her work explores the complex connections between brain vasculature, tumor biology, and the aging process, helping us better understand how changes in our blood vessels may influence both brain function and disease. Dr. Wilhelm is not only a respected scientist and a winner of multiple awards, but also a dedicated mentor and a very active voice in science policy and communication. All of this while balancing her scientific career with family life. Dr. Wilhelm, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, to jump right in, what is your story that basically led to what you're doing today?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much, Victoria. It's a great honor to be here. I'm very happy. So what led me to science? So I am a medical doctor, and when I started my studies, I enjoyed them very much in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And later on, when it was about clinical studies, then I realized that it was not my way to go on. So that was the point when I turned to science, and I decided to try this way.
What is your favorite aspect of your work today?
Okay, so it's the same as from the beginning. So science is really fun. Mm-hmm. So something that only we as scientists experience, that we do something different every day. And we are driven by our curiosity and trying to figure out something that no one has ever done before. And that is really a big privilege because practically nothing is routine. And that is very, very exciting.
And as far as I know, you finished medical school in Marosvásárhely, right? And then after that, you decided to relocate to Hungary. Yes. What was it like for you as a young adult to move to a new place? Were there any, pleasant surprises or cultural differences or anything like that on your journey?
Yeah, so I moved to Hungary because I wanted to do science. So that was my plan. And it was quite easy for me because my mother tongue is Hungarian. So there was not a big cultural shock for me from the beginning. So it really went smoothly. Mm-hmm. And so when I came here, that was a program, an international training course. It was called a 1-year pre-doctoral program. And we were all international students there. Right. So that was, again, helping me to get to know how to work here, what to look for. So we were helping each other. So it was really great. And that was the Biological Research Centre in Szeged.
Yes.
And the VRC used to be and is still a very international place. Mm-hmm. So from this point of view, again, it was quite easy for me because I met very many people from very different parts of the world. And that was really exciting and also helpful in a way for me as well.
And what is the atmosphere like there today at this research center?
So I've been working there since I came to Hungary. So mm-hmm. maybe this means something. Mm-hmm. So I think that in general, the atmosphere is good. So I wouldn't say that it's a big family because we are 500 people there. So right. It's a quite big family. But still we know each other and there is an atmosphere of helping each other, supporting each other in general. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a relatively good place to work in. So, yeah.
And you mentioned that you have a lot of people there from all over the world and from the very beginning and when you came for this training course. And what are your views actually on this, situation and this idea of international collaboration in science?
That is essential. So science is not unique to a certain nation. So science is very international. And what I am doing is biomedical sciences is absolutely so. We have to collaborate with people all over the world, and we are also competing with them. So we are not doing just our business here that is valid only in Hungary, but something that is absolutely international. So this is fundamental.
And speaking of, international collaboration and international experiences, I've read somewhere that you once went for an exchange program to Mexico. And can you please tell me a little bit about what was that experience like? What was it about? What are some of the highlights of that trip?
Yeah, so that was important in my career because I didn't do a classical postdoc. So unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity for family reasons. So that trip to Mexico was when I did my PhD studies, and it was a great experience in both scientific and cultural terms, I would say, because. What I was doing there, I brought a technique from our lab to that lab in Mexico City, which we successfully implemented there, and that was good. But I learned so many things about how a different lab is working, how other scientists are thinking about science, how PhD programs differ from country to country. And also I met a different culture, and Mexico is a really beautiful country. So I loved it, really.
That sounds like a very, very exciting experience. And do you actually get these kind of exchange scientists that come to the Szeged Research Centre?
Yes, all the time. So right now we have a PhD student from Mexico, from a different lab.
Really? Wow, okay.
But we usually, so I think almost every year we have someone doing their internships or doing even a postdoc, 1 year of postdoc period. So we had someone from Norway a couple of years ago, but we had people from Brazil, from Ireland, from Portugal. With Portugal, we have strong collaborations. So yes.
Sounds like a very international atmosphere there. And I know that besides teaching and besides your research activities, you are also very actively involved in mentorship. You mentor many people, PhD students, master's students, bachelors, so you name it. And what does mentorship mean to you? What role do you think it can play in a young scientist's life?
Again, crucial. So I know from my own experience, a long time ago, I used to have a mentor that it was not a very good mentor. So, but it was good in the sense that I learned how important this is.
Right.
And I try to really focus on the needs of all my students. And we were talking about international students. So not only, we have people for short periods in our lab, but we have PhD students from different countries, very different countries. So it is a challenge to mentor these different people.
Right.
But essential. So we have to find our common path. In general, which is not easy. Usually it takes time because you start on a different path, both the mentor and the mentee. And you somehow have to find your common way at a certain point, which is not easy, but we usually achieve it. And this is important because there are so many challenges for in science in general, for the students as well. We know that the same thing happened to us, to me, when I was a student. So, I mean, science is fun on the one hand, but it is very hard to do because there are so many challenges and so many negative aspects that you want to get results fast and that doesn't go. And the experiments are failing because of technical reasons, because of who know what, and then you cannot repeat it and things like that. And people don't know that from the beginning, of course.
Yeah.
So we have to somehow learn together with the students how this works and how to get success in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, in my experience, there is a certain point when you have a breakthrough in this mentorship relationship.
Yeah.
When the first successes are coming.
Yeah.
You know? If you are motivated enough, I mean, the student, and persistent enough, then and the mentor is really taking care of you, then you will find the common path together. But it's not easy.
And do you have any like tips or tricks or something that helps you to stay positive during these difficult moments?
Well, I am experienced, I can say. So yeah, and perseverance is maybe one of my skills. That I know that. I mean, if you are working hard, in the end, the success is coming. But yeah, you have to work hard, and maybe you experience one failure and another one, but in the end, you will succeed somehow.
So you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
And besides, mentorship, this is one of the ways that you give back to the future generation of scientists. I know that you're also actively involved in science policy. One of the ways that you do this is you have played an active role within the Hungarian Young Academy. Can you please tell us a little bit about what is this organization, what does it represent, and what has been your role within it?
Well, this is one of my favorite topics, I would say, because I was really very much involved in the last 4 years of this organization. I just stepped off of being a co-chair of the Hungarian Young Academy. So we were really working a lot with my colleagues to do mainly advocacy.
Yes.
So we try to be the voice of young researchers in Hungary. And there is a lot to do. But most importantly, I met so many good friends there. Yeah. And my view broadened so much there that I'm really grateful for all these people that I met there, because this is a unique opportunity for meeting people from different disciplines. And because of course, we all meet, our peers working in the same field, but we don't really have the opportunity to get to know people from very different fields, and to see what is common and what is different. And this really, really huge diversity was really, or is really a unique opportunity. And I'm really grateful for having the opportunity to experience this. It was really worth investing that energy in all aspects. So we did we did work a lot for the young researchers in Hungary. So like giving feedback to decision makers about grant proposals,
right?
Or working a lot for mothers in science who experience special problems that not everybody knows about or thinks about. So this was mainly the main activity on the one hand, but we do a lot of science communication to the general public, to secondary school students. This is again a very important mission, maybe, of the Hungarian Academy. So we did a lot of work in that respect as well.
And I know that you also recently represented the Hungarian Young Academy at the World Science Forum, right? Which was held in Budapest. And what was the main theme of this year's forum?
So it was about science communication. Science communication to the general public, and why trust in science is declining and how we can fight against that. And I think this is very important because we as scientists are well trained to do science, but we have to realize the importance of communicating our results to lay people, because they have to understand how science works and what science means and what scientific results means, so that they can have trust in what we say.
It seems to me, this topic of scientific communication has been coming up a lot in the recent years. And you mentioned that, it's a very, very important thing. Are there any other ways that you participate in, developing this field?
I think that one of the problems is that we don't know how to do that. And in general, we as students, university students or doctoral students, we are not trained to communicate our results neither to the public nor to the scientific community. And when I realized this, I started a training for my students, first of all, in our lab, to teach them how to present the data in a scientific meeting, or what to say when non-experts are asking you about your results, and how to communicate that. And then I extended this to the institute level. So last semester I was practically teaching them. It was a course. And now I'm transferring this to the University of Szeged as a PhD course. Next semester, hopefully, we start it.
That sounds very useful. I think they're really lucky to have that course.
Well, you have to ask them, of course.
But what you said, it really resonates, this idea of that we're taught science, we're taught scientific methods and these different tools and how to think and everything. But then at the end of the day, no matter what we, achieve or find or discover, what good is it if we cannot implement it somehow? But how can you implement it if, a lot of people don't understand what is it that we are implementing? And you mentioned as well that I know that you participate in these different events where you share some of these scientific ideas with the general public. For example, the Brain Awareness Week or the Researchers' Night. I haven't personally participated in either one of those yet, but I have heard great things about those events. Can you please tell us a little bit about what is this Researchers' Night for those who might have not heard of it before?
So it's practically a European movement. So it is organized, I think, every last Friday of each September in the whole European Union. And on these days, also universities and research institutions open their doors for the general public. And we usually have lectures and lab presentations, and people really like to participate in something that we are doing. And they are coming from, they are very diverse, the people who are coming to these events, and they are interested in certain specific questions, or they are interested in generally how a research institution looks like. And so they get this information, and somehow they get engaged with science a little bit. And this is very important, I think.
You mentioned previously today, the kind of activities that you participate in with your mentees and what you're trying to teach the future generation. And the question of funding has come up. And I think probably every scientist everywhere, when they hear the word funding, something immediately, they have certain associations about what that means for them. Is there anything that you can recommend, some tips or tricks of how young researchers can prepare themselves for the realities that await them?
Well, yeah, that's a hard question, because this is really struggling. although, doing the experiments is very hard and very challenging, it is still the sunny part, I would say. Because then you only have to focus on science, and that is good. But later, when you have to acquire your own funding, that is really hard, because we are working a lot and many of our proposals are rejected, and then it's very hard to get funding, and especially in Hungary, it is really challenging. So we are really fighting a lot. And so at the moment, I am not a lab leader, but maybe I would say in the second line. So I am a little bit in a good position, because if I myself don't get a grant, then the lab leader can still help. But yes, I am constantly struggling with that. I received some grant money, but I could have, could be more successful. So I'm trying time to do that, and it is very hard. But somehow we have to protect our students from this. Because their job is, they will see what we are doing, because we are sitting all day long at the computer and writing and telling them that this proposal was rejected. Okay, we got funding. We are very happy about them. But their job is to focus on doing the experiments. And we have to kind of protect them from the other world, which is even harsher. But they will realize step by step what this means.
So would you say the biggest pressure is on the lab leader, on the principal investigator when it comes to funding?
Exactly. So we, the senior scientists, have to receive the funding. And then, of course, as the students grow and they become postdocs, then they start writing, small grant proposals, and later on, as they advance, they will have more and more of this task.
I understand. And another thing you mentioned today, one of the topics or the themes that you dealt with within the context of the Hungarian Young Academy was the special issues that affect mothers in science. And I know that you yourself are a mother in science. And what are some of those special challenges that are specific to moms in science? And is there something that helps you to balance all of these challenges?
Well, both women in science and mothers in science, so all the challenges, this is a very complex issue. So the Hungarian Young Academy had already 2 surveys, and we are now preparing the 3rd survey, which is not only dealing with this aspect of early career researchers, but several other issues as well. One part of this issue is having small children, or not very small children, but bigger ones as well, because we have to balance between time spent with our children and time spent in the lab, and doing science is usually never switching off your mind of this topic. So it is not easy. I don't know whether I did it good or bad. my child will tell this later, maybe. But yes, we have to find the balance somehow, and to spend time with the family as well, which is important and gives back a lot of positive feelings. And we have to use these, feelings in our everyday life, so including science and every aspect. So what I am doing especially is that I like hiking in the mountains. So we go together with the family, with my husband and with my child. And then we have really more time to spend together.
That sounds wonderful. But despite the challenges, and you said that you don't know if you're doing it well or not so well, and then, your child will say so in the future. But I know that your daughter, she wants to become a scientist. So despite the challenges and everything, she still sees this as an interesting career, and she sees a great example. So it seems like you're doing a lot of things right. It sounds like to me. And what would you tell your daughter? What advice would you give her on this journey? And maybe not just to her, but, to all the young girls who are thinking about going down this path.
If we go back to my own personal family, so my daughter, so both me and my husband, we are both scientists. So my husband is the group leader. So maybe she doesn't have any other experience, and that is maybe one of the reasons she wants to do science. But in general, so I think, so I am really excited about doing science, and maybe this is something that she is feeling, and I can tell everyone that yes, there are difficulties, and especially these difficulties coming from decision makers and funding issues, and then a lot of pressure, publication pressure. Right. Now they want to introduce whatever indicators that they are evaluating us. So this is very hard on the one hand, but we somehow have to, sometimes I have to, forget about all this, right, and tell that, okay, I am a scientist and I want to do science, and this is most important. Thinking about the experiments and what those results mean and how we can go on. And this is something unique because it's different every day. No other job offers this opportunity. So I think it's still worth doing science.
Thank you so much for sharing your life experiences with us today. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and join us all the way from Szeged at our Budapest studio. We really appreciate you joining us. It was a huge honor and a big, big pleasure for me personally as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I thank you very much.